everyone, this is Sasha bringing you a video tutorial today from BP4U. And today we're going to talk about the toolbox, and if you haven't seen part 1 then you would need to watch part 1, and we're going to move on into part 2. So we left off with this the magic eraser tool and all the other eraser tools, and so we're just going to go ahead and move into the gradient tool. And so the gradient tool will draw a gradient onto your photo for you. And you have these options up here that you can pick from. You can do a just a normal gradient, or you can do something round, a radial gradient, angled, reflected, or diamond. And so you can select your gradient here, and you can make your gradient look however you want it to. You can change your blending mode and your opacity. And so you would just go ahead and you would pick a spot and you could draw that on. And then of course, you could change your blending mode and your opacity over here in your layers panel as well. Again, you probably don't want to draw it on your background layer. You want to draw it on a duplicated background layer or on a blank layer. Then we have the paint bucket tool. It works sort of like the magic eraser tool and the magic wand tool. You would go ahead and select the color that you want to fill, and you would click, and it's going to try to fill it in those pixels that look similar to where it should be. Again, you can play with your tolerance over here. Obviously, we would need to lower our tolerance to make it work in this area because her shirt's white and her arm's kind of overexposed a little bit, and so it's just a little bit confused. So we could fix that by going ahead and lowering the tolerance. Maybe we could try 25. You can see that that feels a little bit better. So now we have these 3 tools here: blur, sharpen, and smudge, and these are brushes. And they are brushes that you can either blur, sharpen, or smudge with, depending upon which one you have. You can change your brush size here. You can change your mode here and your strength here. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'll show you the sharpen brush. I'm just going to paint over her face. And so you can see that that definitely has sharpened quite a bit. This is the before and here's the after. And again, by not working directly on my background layer, I would be able to go in here and I could lower the opacity and make that look less crazy. So then we have our dodge, burn, and our sponge tool. The dodge tool works with exposing more, lightening a part of your photo. The burn tool works with darkening a part of your photo, and the sponge tool deals with saturating and desaturating part of your photo. And so if we were going to, for example, dodge a photo, we could select our brush size here. We could decide whether we were working with shadows, midtones, or highlights. And our exposure would be how much that we were going to lighten the photo. So if we were going to do her eyes, I'll turn it up so that you can really see it. I could go ahead and I could paint over those, and you can see now that her eyes have gotten considerably brighter. The burn tool works the exact same way, and the sponge tool, the only thing that's different is in the mode you can choose between saturate and desaturate. And so if I were to desaturate, you can see that I am pulling the color away from her skin. The next we have the pen tool, and despite its name, it's not really a pen. The pen tool is more of a path tool, and a path is something a little bit different than what you would normally use because it doesn't work with pixels, which is what a photo is made of. A path tool won't save over top of a picture or print. If you were to make a path and go ahead and save your picture as a JPEG, you would no longer see that path on there anymore. A path tool is commonly referred to sometimes as an outline. For example, if you draw a square and you don't do anything with it, it's just the outline of a square. In order for you to see the square over top of the picture, you're going to either need to fill it or stroke it to have the actual square on your picture. The path tool is more for design as opposed to normal and typical photo editing. And this tool here, this little arrow, will move a path tool, will move a path. So if we were to go ahead and draw a path, you could use this tool right here to move it to a new location. And then this key right here, this is our text tool. You can click anywhere on the photo that you want your text to be. You can select your font here, your size here, the position that you want your text to be in here, and the color that you want your text to be here. And so then of course you just type your message. You can click on it. Of course you would use this to move it to a new location if you want to. If you decided you wanted it bigger or smaller, you could press Control-T on your keyboard and hold down your Shift key, and you can make it bigger or smaller. And then hit Enter when you're happy with it. Next we have our Shape tool. You can use this to draw a shape. And of course there's different ones that you can pick from. These next two tools, you don't have to worry about them too much. This is for 3D objects and this is for a camera. We have our zoom tool here, and then we have this hand tool that you can use to move a photo around after you have zoomed in. When you have your zoom tool selected, you can zoom back out by pressing Fit Screen. You can look at the actual pixels. You can fill your screen or look at the print size. And then of course we have our color swatches here. You can reset your swatches by clicking right here. The color that's on top is your foreground color, and the color that's behind it is your background color, and you can swap those colors by clicking on the arrows. So that is your toolbox in a nutshell, and that will be very important to you for all of your editing and photo enhancement needs. So thank you so much for watching this video tutorial. Happy editing!